Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness, it feels like it's been ages since I have filmed a video. I have been off for the past couple weeks. You may or may not have noticed that I was posting less frequently these last 2 weeks, but that is because I was away getting married. Look, I got freaking married. I'm a wife. What the heck? If you want more information about sort of the wedding and the honeymoon and stuff that's like less plant related, head over to my vlog channel. I believe tomorrow I will be posting my wedding prep video, as well as I'll be posting my mini moon video down the line. So that will be over there. So make sure to go subscribe to that if you want to be notified when those videos go up. But on a more planty note, I have been away from my plants for the past week, and I thought that the perfect thing to do to come back on here would be to show you what is going on with my collection, give you a bit of an update on the collection, and show you the sort of exciting things that are happening, as well as some slightly less exciting things and slightly disappointing things that I need to definitely step up and work on in this video. And we could do a whole walkthrough of the collection today. So that's what's gonna happen. Before I get into it though, I wanna say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around and watch some more of my videos and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you giving me grace for being away for these past couple weeks. I've been busy. But without any further ado, let's get into these updates. First up, I'm gonna give a quick Cleo update. Hey, Miss Thing. Sorry for interrupting your nap. Oh, it's suddenly gotten really cold here, and so we've just got her snuggled up in a little nest. But I think she's really glad that we're back. She's basically not left my side other than for napping purposes, and she's like, why are you disturbing me now? I don't need this. But she's not left my side, and I've missed her so much. Oh, big yawn, good job. Okay, into the plants. So I feel like I desperately need to cut my begonia white ice. Do you see how tall that is? It is freaking massive, and it's getting really leany. Also, excuse the absolute mess. We have so much laundry to do from being away. We have a lot to do. We're still catching back up to things, but my white ice has gotten so freaking tall that I feel like I really need to cut it, and I can hopefully get it to branch out a little bit more. And with those propagations, I can put them back into the bottom of the pot, and hopefully that will get it to be a bit more of a bushy plant. I'm really glad it's growing quite well here. I was a little bit worried because this area doesn't have a grow light that it was going to get really leggy, but I don't think it has. Maybe a tiny bit of extra internodal space there, but I was worried the leaves were going to get smaller and then it was going to go leggy, and I really don't think that has been the case. So I'm very happy about that. Honestly, in that sort of zone, nothing really going on. The plants are just trailing like crazy. I feel like we're coming to the end of the growing season now, so maybe they'll slow down a little bit going forward because they'll be getting less heat and light, but still doing really well. I'm literally never worried about those plants up there. My Glorious is putting out several new leaves at the moment. This one is from the top cut that I put back into the bottom, and then I also have a new one there, and then that leaf back there is new as well. It has gotten slightly, I think that's from the cutoff point, so that's the second leaf from where I cut it off down there. So I feel like that's pretty good. But again, I'm either gonna have to extend that moss pole or something, maybe move that plant to the ground because it's currently on a stool. And so maybe moving that lower and extending the pole is the best option, but I'm really not sure because it is just an absolutely massive beast of a plant. I think my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma is healing now. It is growing quite a lot up at the top there. just putting out leaf after leaf. I did end up treating this one with Provonto because it was really, really suffering with the thrips and I could not get them to go away any other way. And I really don't like doing that, but it was kind of my last resort with this one. And because it's such a big plant, I didn't want it to continue infecting other ones in the area and making things worse, like my Polyneura, which I also don't think has thrips anymore, but it is growing super duper well. This is kind of the first year I've actually had my Polyneura grow because of the flat mites that I was dealing with on it last year. I think these new sort of fishtails are coming in beautifully, and it's really popping at this point, which I love. More exciting things on my top shelf. Do you see that Warwickwianum leaf? Like, oh, it is absolutely gigantic and looking perfect. So I'm very, very excited that that is coming in well. I feel like this is the fastest a new leaf has ever grown in on this plant since putting out its last one. Like, it's just immediately come and put out another one, which, I mean, I cannot complain about. I just cannot wait to see how well it grows in. I didn't really know that it was growing in before I left, so this is like a new development, and goodness, that leaf just looks so freaking perfect. I'm hoping that it doesn't get the sort of same holiness that my other ones have, but who knows? We will just, like, we'll see in time, and keep our fingers crossed in the meantime. Down at the back here, my Schismatoglottis Silver Borneo is putting out some massive leaves for itself, because when I got it, it kind of had leaves about this size, and it lost basically everything, and now it is just growing and growing. Maybe because of the Formula-X fertilizer that I've been using, maybe just because I've put it in a bit more of a bright space. Not sure, but either way, I am glad, and I can't wait to see how it continues to grow. And oh my goodness, y'all know how I chopped my jade plant? So many of the little points in there are starting to grow and like branch out. I think every single one has at least 2 new growth points, so it will branch out from those points, and that is super duper exciting. In the Acerbar, which is doing really, really well, my begonia, oh gosh, is this one the Ice Frost? I think it might be the Ice Frost, is just growing rapidly in here. I think when I put it into the Acerbar, it had like 2 or 3 leaves, and now it is growing very, very steadily, and the new leaves are getting bigger and bigger. And then also my Aeschycanthus Bolero bicolor there, sorry, I can't point because I'm holding the lid. The 2 cuttings that I have in here are actually growing. So I think I've finally gotten these ones to stick, and I can eventually probably join these in with the other ones that I have in my proper IKEA cabinet. The lighting in the office is kind of awful at the minute. I've had to put the big light on in this video because it's just so dark. It has suddenly just gotten disgustingly dark in the UK, and there's no light and it's cloudy all the time, and it makes me sad. But beside that, just to show you my plants, I have turned on the big light, and can I just show you this absolute mess of a zone here? This is like my dirty little secret at the minute. I knocked over some of these pond plants the other day and just didn't clean them up, didn't fix the roots that are coming off here. And then I've also just got this like rotten Martian leaf that like this is just my little area of shame currently that I've just not touched, and I don't really fancy doing anything about, so I've just not. And I know that's bad. I know it's bad, but alas, we're here, and maybe in a plant tours video I'll do something about it. Both of my Ficus elasticas, but you can't really see that one because it's a bit in the shadow. Oh, there we go. Where I cut them off, they are branching out as well. I feel like I'm not really the biggest fan of pruning things or beheading things, but I've done a really good job this year of actually doing so in order to hopefully get my plants to branch out. And I'm hoping that I mean, it looks like it's worked, but the fact that I've got multiple growth points on both of these means that it is hopefully succeeding in making it a more branchy plant. I also need to do something about my Fleur de Gauze because it is literally sprawling out into the office space. I think I need to like stake it or something just to make it go up a little bit higher. And then maybe these leaves can keep their ghostliness a little bit more as well. We'll see. I mean, it's fine. It's getting quite a lot of grow light from the Sansi bulbs here. I feel like this whole area is really benefiting from having these grow bulbs. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is somewhat sad. So, do you see the crunchy crispiness on my Dioscorea discolor? So I did water everything before I went away, but this plant is so incredibly thirsty at the minute because it is in the tiniest little self-watering pot down here, and that just ran out of water while I was gone. And I have since watered it, and some of the leaves have perked back up, but I feel like I am going to lose a good chunk of them here in the middle, which is a little bit sad, but I mean, I'll live. It'll be fine. This plant just grows so profusely that I'm not too worried about it, but I do feel a little bit bad that I've done that. Also, look, that's my wedding dress. Otherwise, this sort of mostly Hoya shelf is booming. Just new growth left and right. I think this one, which I got at a swap as a unknown Hoya, I think it might end up being a Crimson Queen, just based off of how the new growth is coming in, because these first two leaves were very round and very un-Crimson Queeny, but the more new leaves come in, the more and more it looks like a Crimson Queen. So I think that's just, and it's gonna be what it is, which I'm not mad at. I mean, I do like a Crimson Queen. I don't actually have another one in the minute. I think I got rid of my other one. Also, oh my god, my Ovibata. Who are you? What, like, you're doing so well. Look at those like beautiful round Ovibata leaves. Those are just incredible. This is actually, aside from the Dioscorea, the only room that I have not watered. Ooh, is this bulb out? I think this bulb might be out. That's unfortunate. Guess I gotta put a new grow bulb in there because these plants would definitely benefit from the light. But I haven't watered this section yet. I've just kind of been putting it off, and I mean, the plants seem pretty okay. They are feeling a little bit soft. I would like them to be a little bit firmer and more watered, but for the most part, it is fine, I guess. Also, my El Choco Red is putting out another new leaf, and this one I'm not gonna touch, and it's also not gotten stuck like this last one did, and because this one I had to unstick myself. Oh, was that pests? That looks like pests. Do you see that? Give me one sec. I don't know. Okay, maybe. I know for a fact that I have previously been dealing with pests on this one because this leaf is just severely damaged. But I think this is pest damage, but I also see some predatory mites doing some work on this leaf. They're on here, and I think that means that anything that was here has been dealt with, which is very, very good news. That's what we like out of our predatory mites. I think it's probably stopped any sort of issues that are going on, because I haven't seen any adult thrips on this plant specifically. I've only seen the juveniles, and there's probably eggs as well if there's juveniles. So I'm hoping that the predatory mites that I have in there have just been doing their job. Also, I've got to show you this because it is growing so incredibly well. Do you see that? Do you see that growth on there? I'm pretty sure when I got it, it might have just had a little bit of the pink at the top, but since it has grown more and branches, and the branches that it already had are growing even more as well. I think this one's also putting out a bit of new growth. Just like really phenomenal. I've also not watered this more than once since I've had it, and it has been living up here directly. Okay, it's a bit unstable. Maybe I should put it in a pot and water it. But it has been living directly, there we go, directly in front of that Grow Gang bulb. And I know that Grow Gang bulb is bright. I'm pretty sure it's equivalent to like bright direct indoor light. And so it is just growing so well and phenomenally up there. I kind of don't want to ever put it into my cactus cabinet because I feel like that's not going to be enough light for it when I know that it's the right amount. And I don't think that it's been minding the sort of higher humidity in here. So right now it is 62% humidity, which is fairly normal for our home. This room we dry our laundry in, but we also use a dehumidifier. So it's a bit of an odd one humidity wise, but that seems to be growing phenomenally. So I'm not gonna move it for now. It'll be fine. My other cacti and succulents down here in the cactus cabinet are also doing pretty okay. This euphorbia, I think this is the Ingens, is just putting out some new growth. And I think my booby cactus, I'm pretty positive, it has like graduated from the thrips. You can see that sort of line of where the damage was from the thrips, but it is not creating more of that orange damage going up. So it is growing and growing pretty well. I do desperately need to water all of this. I think it's been a couple months now, and now that it is October, it is time. Ooh, down in there. Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. That aloe is not a happy camper. That is 100% my fault. It is the only one in soil in this thing, and so I think it maybe got overwatered last time I watered. That's unfortunate, but I mean, I don't really care about that one that much, so it's actually fine. We're just gonna ignore that, put it back and put it away, and probably water these plants this week because I think they deserve it. They deserve a little bit of TLC. Also, this zone has just popped freaking off since I've moved things here, since I've put the grow light here. Everything is growing amazingly. Let me just quickly turn it off so you can better see everything. But like, the begonia is just going crazy. Oh, I've got some inflorescence on my crystallinum down here. This is the newest crystallinum leaf that's come out, I believe. And it is huge compared to the previous ones and a lot healthier, surprisingly, seeing as I literally just shove it in a corner. My Schismatoglottis silver is in bloom. I want to cut that off. And the Branchifolia pink passion, do you see the size of those leaves? It is huge. This is the biggest leaf I've ever had on this one. So I think it must be loving, loving, loving the light being so close, as well as the sort of no drainage lifestyle that I've got it in. It seems to be really happy in there, which is good. I do need to go and give all of this area a water as well though, because I've not touched it at all since I've been home, and I know this stuff needs water. Like, the thirstiest plant ever, Schismatoglottis, is empty. So it is time to water this zone. I should probably also water, yeah, this one needs it too. You can see the little indicator back there is quite low on my Mitchelletiana. Please ignore my laundry. I'll go this side so you don't see it as much. But this one, since I've repotted it, it seems very happy. I don't think this is the permanent location for it, just because I can't, it's just so big on the desk there, and it's 100% going to be getting in Joe's way when he's working from here. So it's probably not the permanent location, but I don't necessarily know what is at the minute. But I also Provantoed this plant because it was really suffering with thrips. And I'm not mad at myself for doing that. I think it has been worth it, and I've not seen any sort of thrips since, so we are on the right track with it. Also, have you seen how big my Alocasia Polly's gotten? Excuse me, hello, who are you? I'm like so shiny too. Look at that. She's doing great. I literally ignore her and she's just doing phenomenally back there. And then lastly, we have the living room. I mean, again, why is it so freaking dark? I dislike, if it can auto up the, there we go, that's better. We're doing okay in here. So I think I desperately need to repot my Regal. It is just, it's gotten a little bit too far out of its pot, but I was waiting for this leaf to finish growing in, and oh, I didn't mean to do that. And I think it has at this point. It's not quite as big as the previous one, but it is still huge and currently looking more beautiful. As you can see, I think I've got some sort of issue going on with my Regal, some sort of like fungal issue maybe, because I don't think it's humidity related, because it is fairly humid in here. If anyone's had this happen to their Regals before, or like their anthuriums in general, can you tell me how you dealt with it? Because I just dislike the way this looks. I much prefer when they are nice. Obviously, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory there. And then these ones on this side are also just doing great. My Magnificum? No, that's not what it's called. Majestic, that's the word. My Philodendron Majestic has just put out this leaf, which is the biggest it's ever had on here. And I feel like you can definitely see the increase in size, the sizing up in this whole zone. So I think we're on the right track with it. And once more of these stems get to the top, I can kind of sort of chop and extend and hopefully get an even bigger plant. I'm really proud actually of these sort of more, I think these are Rex begonias. I could be wrong, I'm still figuring out my begonias. This is the Begonia Cleo, and I don't know what this one is. If you know the ID of this begonia, let me know. It is mostly black with some green edges, but some of the leaves are just fully black. Either way, it is doing so well. Look at that little new leaf in there. It is so cute, and I'm actually able to keep these alive, which I'm pretty proud of. This one is just in moss. I don't even know if you can see that. It is just in sphagnum moss down there. And this one, so far I've kept it in soil, and it has been okay. I think it is still adjusting to my home because it is on the newer side for me. So we're getting there with it, and it might take a little bit of time. We also need to talk about my Stefania erecta. So this year I potted it up into semi-hydro, which I'm not sure if I've done that before, but I potted it up. I was giving it water regularly. Nothing, not a single sprout. But I've taken it out and like kind of put it off to the side. It's just living just there on my sideboard. Nothing special, no water, no light, nothing. And it's giving me not one, but 2 growth points. It has never before given me 2 growth points. I'm flabbergasted. I just don't know what to do. Should I plant it up now? Should I plant it up now and put it under grow light, give it warmth and humidity and stuff, and like see if I can get it to grow from these 2 growth points? Or do I just leave it, let it sit as it is on my sideboard getting nothing, and just see what happens with it? I don't necessarily feel like I need it to grow this year. I accepted the fate of not having a Stefania erecta grow or sprout this season, but I feel like now that it's the beginning of October, it's a bit late for this one. So I don't know. Vote down in the comments what you think I should do with it. I really don't know. It's weird. Into the IKEA cabinet. We are we're exploding in here again. I feel like I just did some rearranging in this zone to hopefully clear things out a bit, and it has just gotten full again. My dragon's breath is, it is doing its thing. Like, look how long that leaf is. It is absolutely huge, and it just keeps putting out these really massive, beautiful leaves. I have staked it up with the little octopus thing in order to help it stay a little bit more elevated, and I think it has helped it in this zone. But also my, back there, this is the Asacanthus Bolero bicolor that is doing better for me. I don't know why it's doing better for me, but I will add the other one into this one at some point. What else? Oh yeah, my Alocasia Jacqueline. Look at those leaves. Ah, it is just so pretty and funky. Okay, this at the back here is not doing well. This is my Black Velvet Alocasia, and as you can see, we are down into the single leaf club. I am not 100% sure why that has happened, but it has happened, and I think I seriously need to do some work on this. I'm also not the biggest fan of this self-watering pot it's in. It's one of the ones that just has, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to show you. It just has sort of clear bottom there, and I don't like it as much as I like some of my other self-watering pots. So maybe I just need to give this one a bit of an upgrade and hopefully get it into a better situation, because I mean, I love my Black Velvet, and it would be a massive shame to lose it because I've had it for so long. At the bottom, okay, so this is actually kind of annoying and sad. So my variegated Thanksgiving cactus, if it would focus on it, I think it is rotting from the root, which is, I don't quite understand. Maybe I overwatered it or something. I'm tempted to try and like chop it and see if I can get it to reroot, because it was doing so well. And it was my last one of this like batch of cuttings. I do have more now, thank goodness, because I'm not like losing it completely, but I was really, really hoping I could get this one to work, and I just don't know. I think I've kind of messed it up on this one, so that's unfortunate. But I feel like otherwise, this whole section is doing really, really well. My variegated Paulownia repens is doing great back here. It just tells me when it's thirsty. I gave it some water yesterday, and now it is like fully firmed up and perked up again, and it's just living its best life in here. My Alocasias are doing great. Even my big new Frydek, it is adjusting super well. I haven't really lost any leaves on it. Oh, maybe one, maybe this one. Oh no, this one's fine. It's just white. I mistook that for yellow for a second. But just everything in here is just doing so well. It's just blasting off still, growing steadily, and I'm hoping that because it's a consistent temperature and it has consistent light from the grow lights, that it will just continue along this line and never stop, because it is just so beautiful in here. Oh, also, I think my, was this, this is my pink spot. It is so not pink. I mean, I guess the new leaf is pink, but the like more mature leaves aren't. Anyways, my pink spot is recovering from its sort of transition scare. That sucked a bit, but it is coming back with a vengeance, putting out some beautiful new leaves, and I can chop and prop it and fill out that pot a little bit more down the line. And then this is the last section, my Philodendron Martianum. Those two new growth points are still both coming out, which is very exciting. I'm really, really glad about that. I'm hoping that we can get it to grow better going forward, maybe give me some actual fat boy stems rather than this sort of BS, but we will see. Unfortunately, my variegated Monstera, I think I'm gonna have to chop it because it is just putting out a full ghost leaf. The previous leaf was like 90% ghost, and now this one looks like it's gonna be a full ghost. So I'm probably gonna have to chop that back, but I've got another new leaf in there, and I'm hoping, being in this spot, getting a little bit more light from the window and getting better moss pole support, like I'm actually watering the moss pole now, that will allow this to actually thrive instead of kind of looking like the mess that it currently is. One more thing before I end this updates video. Can we take a moment for my Begonia Coralina? What is she doing? She's doing everything and growing so freaking well. I'm going to have to hop and chop and prop her again very soon because she's just getting too big for this space, or I have to move her somewhere else. Gosh, I didn't realize quite how fast cane begonias grow, but they are just growing. I feel like I've got new leaves everywhere on this one. There's a new leaf popping up here and one down here. They're just constantly growing. And I mean, I can't complain because I absolutely love this one and I think it looks really great here. So I will probably have to behead that one at some point. So that is it. Those are all of the things that are going on in my plant collection at the minute. I feel like we are generally still booming in growth, and I feel like the growing season has done us very well this year. Thank you, growing season gods. Even though the summer hasn't been that great here in the UK, it was short. And I feel like the winter's gonna be long. Hopefully with the use of grow light and fertilizer and having the heat on, which, I mean, to be honest, Joe doesn't do it for the plants or for me. He does it for the cat. He keeps the heat on for the cat. But I mean, I can't be mad because I like it just as warm as she does. So with all of those things, I think we can keep the growth going. We can try at the very least. But before I sign off, I did get several new patrons while I was away, so I wanted to say a huge thank you to those. So thank you so much to Nicole, Soa, Blue, and Susan for joining in the Good Growing fam over on Patreon. If anyone else is interested in joining my Patreon, it is £3 a month, and you get everything for that nice low price, including bonus content and live chats and access to polls and access to our community Discord server and all of that great stuff. So that's there if you want it, but absolutely no pressure if that is not your thing. It's there if you want it and not if you don't. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining. Thank the rest of you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future. If I mentioned anything during this that you'd like to see more on, let me know and I can make that happen for you, and subscribe for more. I really hope you are having a fantastic day and I will see you in the next one. Do not forget to keep growing. Bye!